Recently, Houghton County's Omega House was left off the Veteran Health Administration's list of contracted hospice facilities. Keweenaw Bureau reporter Thomas Fournier has more on the need for accessible hospice care in rural communities.
Making sure the family can come around is an important aspect of hospice care around the country. However, that goal can become a challenge for hospice facilities in rural areas, and even more difficult for veterans' families when a facility no longer qualifies as a hospice facility for the Veterans Health Administration.
Yeah, so we were called from the local VA office in Iron Mountain that in late December that we would no longer be servicing veterans at Omega House, which was a surprise because for at least the last half dozen years, we've cared for almost a dozen veterans per year to receive their end-of-life care here at Omega House. And now with this change, we're looking at our veterans who want reimbursement through the VA to be, they're likely to get their care maybe 100 miles away, Iron River, Iron Mountain as first options. If they are full, those residents or veterans would end up maybe going even further away from home.
Omega House was one of 2 hospice facilities in Houghton County, accessible at no cost through VA benefits to veterans. Canal View retained its status as a unified hospice facility for the VA. However, like other long-term care facilities in the United States, they have a small hospice care area, making full-size hospice care facilities important to communities.
However, the costs associated with that, if there is availability, are much higher for the Veterans Health Administration. But typically, they're going to pay an inpatient hospice care facility like Omega House, and there's several across the UP and nationwide. They're going to pay them less than they would pay these other facilities that have much higher and stringent guidelines and costs.
Houghton County Veteran Service Office Director Joe Battisfor has sent letters to local representatives notifying leaders of the challenge Omega House faces. He says Omega House was likely left off the qualified facilities list due to a lack of a code specific to hospice facilities.
And recently this decision to remove the Omega House as one of the approved facilities has reduced the capacity and the ability to provide inpatient hospice care for veterans in our area. But this is actually a UP-wide, a statewide, and really a national issue, because you have a situation where veterans are eligible for a certain benefit, but they're not able to receive it because of some administrative issue with providing the services. This is what we're hoping to get assistance with through our representatives.
We want the letter to really show our congressman that we have more options in town for end-of-life care, and we want them to relook at the verbiage and see if there is a way to recognize places like Omega House that are, we'll say, hospice homes, where residential end-of-life care, and we want to be included in that verbiage because there's really no reason to send our veterans down the road for their care when they have it right here in town.
Omega House Executive Director Mike Lutz wants the community to understand that veterans can still reside at the facility. However, a veteran will not be able to use the VA's fully covered hospice care benefit until the coding issue has been resolved. Canal View of Houghton County does accept VHA hospice benefits, but has a limited capacity in the home. The Iron Mountain VA CNH facilities list includes 4 Upper Peninsula locations and 1 in Peshtigo, Wisconsin. With my UP News in Houghton, this is Thomas Fournier.